Minnewanka Landing, tucked away in the stunning Banff National Park of Alberta, has a long and mysterious history. For centuries, the area around Lake Minnewanka has been known for its haunting beauty and eerie presence. The Stoney Nakoda people, who have lived in this region for thousands of years, named the lake Minnewanka, or Lake of the Spirits, believing the water to be home to powerful and sometimes dangerous spirits. Even today, visitors to the lake report a sense of unease, as if something unseen is watching from beneath the water's surface. The history of Minnewanka Landing begins in the late 19th century, when European settlers began to explore the area. In 1886, the Beach House, a log hotel, was built on the shores of the lake, marking the start of what would become a small, thriving summer village. Over the years, the town grew, attracting people from nearby Calgary who came to enjoy the scenic beauty of the area. The town included 4 avenues, 3 streets, and numerous cottages, restaurants, and hotels, making it a popular getaway. However, Minnewanka Landing was not just a charming summer retreat. It was a place with a dark side, a place where mysterious disappearances began to occur. In the early 20th century, reports of strange events started to surface. Locals and visitors alike began to notice unsettling occurrences, from unexplained sounds to strange figures lurking in the shadows. It wasn't long before rumors spread about the spirits of those who had vanished under mysterious circumstances, their restless souls said to haunt the area. One of the earliest signs that Minnewanka Landing was a place of more than just earthly beauty came from the stories of ghostly apparitions and eerie noises that seemed to come from nowhere. In fact, some of the earliest reports told of whispers in the wind, footsteps following explorers through the abandoned streets, and flickering lights in the windows of long-forgotten buildings. These experiences only fueled the growing belief that something supernatural was at work in Minnewanka Landing. Despite the eerie atmosphere, Minnewanka Landing continued to draw visitors for many years. But by the 1920s, the town's once thriving community began to dwindle. The disappearances, combined with the unsettling reports of strange occurrences, led many to believe that the area was cursed. Eventually, the town was abandoned, left to decay in silence. Today, Minnewanka Landing remains a ghost town, its crumbling buildings and empty streets standing as a testament to a once vibrant community, now swallowed by mystery. As visitors explore the abandoned town, they can't help but feel the weight of its history, a history filled with unexplained events and a sense that the past is never truly gone. And as the sun sets over the still waters of Lake Minnewanka, the spirits of Minnewanka Landing seem to linger, watching, waiting, and whispering from the shadows. As we continue, we'll dive deeper into the eerie legends and unexplained phenomena that continue to haunt Minnewanka Landing, uncovering the chilling tales that keep visitors coming back for more. As the years passed and Minnewanka Landing was abandoned, the mysterious disappearances and eerie happenings that once plagued the town only grew in legend. The spirits that were said to haunt the lake and its surroundings became more than just stories. They became part of the town's dark legacy. One of the most chilling aspects of Minnewanka Landing is its connection to the lake itself, Lake Minnewanka, which has been regarded as a source of both life and fear for centuries. For the Stoney Nakoda people, the lake's name, Minnewanka, or Lake of the Spirits, was a reminder of the spirits that resided within it. The lake, with its crystal-clear waters and deep, dark depths, was not just a body of water. It was a powerful force that many believed could trap souls and keep them imprisoned. It was said that those who dared to venture too far into the lake would feel the presence of something otherworldly, and those who ignored the warnings would pay the price. One of the most enduring legends surrounding Lake Minnewanka is that of a monstrous fish-like creature. The Stoney people told stories of a half-man, half-fish being that once lived in the lake, striking terror into anyone who saw it. Though the creature was allegedly captured in the late 19th century, many believed it still haunted the water, its presence lingering in the depths of the lake. Even today, Some claim to have seen the creature's shadowy figure rise from the water, while others report hearing eerie splashing sounds at night. But the lake was not the only place where the spirits seemed to linger. In the empty streets of Minnewanka Landing, many have claimed to see ghostly figures wandering aimlessly. Over the years, the number of reports from visitors and explorers increased, with many describing the feeling of being watched or followed by unseen forces. Some have even reported hearing footsteps behind them when no one else was around. And in several cases, the sound of a woman's laughter can be heard drifting through the air, as though the spirits of the town's former residents are still keeping watch over their abandoned homes. The most famous of these ghostly sightings occurred in 2005, when a group of friends visiting the area captured what they believed to be the ghostly figure of a young woman on camera. The footage, which shows a figure walking toward the camera before disappearing into thin air, has since been shared widely online. For many, this video is considered some of the most compelling evidence of the supernatural activity in Minnewanka Landing. The sighting of the young woman is not an isolated case. Many visitors have reported seeing similar apparitions, adding to the belief that the spirits of the town's past still linger, unable to find peace. Another tale that has circulated for years is that of a lone explorer who ventured into Minnewanka Landing in 2008. While exploring the abandoned cabins on the outskirts of the town, he heard what he described as a whispering voice calling his name. The voice was faint, but distinct enough to send a chill down his spine. As he turned to leave, he felt an overwhelming sense of fear, as though something unseen was warning him to get out. The explorer, who has since remained anonymous, fled the area in a panic, stating that he would never return to Minnewanka Landing again. These stories are just a small glimpse into the eerie happenings that continue to surround Minnewanka Landing. The abandoned town is often described as having a palpable energy, a feeling that the spirits of its past still walk its streets. Visitors have reported everything from strange smells to unexplained cold spots, and many claim to experience a deep sense of dread when they enter the town. The question remains, what happened to the people who lived there, and why do their spirits seem to refuse to leave? Next, we'll explore the most chilling events to have taken place in Minnewanka Landing and look into the mysterious disappearances that may hold the key to the town's haunting legacy. The eerie reputation of Minnewanka Landing didn't just come from ghost stories or paranormal encounters. It was also shaped by a string of mysterious disappearances that plagued the town in its final years. The town, once a bustling summer retreat for visitors, began to decline when a series of unexplained vanishings began in the early 20th century. These incidents created a sense of fear and unease, ultimately contributing to the decision to abandon the area in the 1920s. In 1915, the first known disappearance occurred when a local man, who had been a regular visitor to the area, went missing under strange circumstances. According to reports, the man had been last seen walking along the shoreline of Lake Minnewanka, near the area where the town's docks once stood. Despite an extensive search of the surrounding woods and lake, no trace of him was ever found. This unsettling event sparked rumors of something sinister lurking in the lake, and whispers of the lake's dark spiritual presence began to grow louder. Then, in 1918, another disappearance struck the town. A family of 4, who had been staying at one of the cottages in Minnewanka Landing, simply vanished without a trace. Neighbors reported hearing strange noises in the night, unexplained banging sounds and what some described as faint cries for help. But when they went to investigate, there was no sign of the family. The house was still intact, with personal belongings scattered around, but there was no trace of the family members themselves. This mysterious event left the townspeople rattled, and many believed that it was the spirits of the lake or the town's own dark history that had claimed them. The eerie nature of these disappearances only grew stronger in the months that followed. Locals began to speak of a strange force that seemed to pull people into the water, vanishing them into the depths of Lake Minnewanka. Though there were no confirmed reports of bodies being found, many believed that the lake, with its deep, unforgiving waters, was a burial ground for those who had disappeared. The lake's name, Lake of the Spirits, only added to this growing myth. The idea that the spirits of the lake were pulling victims into its depths, never to be seen again. By the early 1920s, the growing fear of the unknown and the constant reports of strange occurrences became too much for the remaining residents. The once thriving summer village, with its hotels, restaurants, and boat tours, was abandoned. The last people to leave Minnewanka Landing did so in haste, their departure fueled by both the unexplainable events and the overpowering sense that something dark and powerful was at work. While the town was officially abandoned, the disappearances continued to haunt the area. Even after the buildings were left to decay, visitors reported unsettling encounters. People claimed to hear the sounds of children laughing and running through the empty streets, and the eerie sensation that they were not alone seemed to follow them wherever they went. Some even claimed to see figures in the windows of the abandoned cottages, only to find the rooms completely empty upon closer inspection. There's also a long-standing theory among paranormal investigators that the disappearances were not just random events, but rather part of a much larger, darker force that was tied to the lake itself. Many believe that the spirits of those who vanished in Minnewanka Landing have become trapped, their souls wandering the area for eternity. These restless spirits are said to be the reason for the continued paranormal activity, as their presence lingers long after their physical bodies have disappeared. As we wrap up, we'll delve into the more recent reports and sightings that continue to fuel the legend of Minnewanka Landing, and look at how these modern encounters tie back to the mysterious events of the past. Though Minnewanka Landing was officially abandoned in the 1920s, the ghost town continues to captivate the curious, with reports of eerie occurrences still flooding in from those who venture near the area. The once thriving summer village, now a silent, decaying ruin, has become a hotspot for paranormal enthusiasts and thrill seekers. What is it about this forsaken place that keeps people coming back? Some say it's the chilling atmosphere of the ghost town itself, while others believe that the restless spirits of the past are the true draw. Over the years, visitors to the area have reported unsettling experiences, many of which seem to be directly tied to the lake itself. The most common encounters involve the sensation of being watched, as if unseen eyes are constantly following you, no matter where you are. This unsettling feeling has led many to believe that the spirits of those who vanished so mysteriously are still lingering in the area, trapped between worlds and unable to move on. One of the most recent and chilling encounters occurred in 2015, when a group of amateur ghost hunters spent the night in the abandoned town. Armed with cameras and ghost hunting equipment, the group set out to capture evidence of paranormal activity. According to their reports, the night began quietly enough, with only the sound of wind rustling through the trees. However, things quickly took a terrifying turn when they began to hear strange noises emanating from the lake. The group described hearing whispers coming from the water, as if voices were rising from the depths. These sounds were unlike anything they had ever heard before, mournful and distant, yet clearly audible over the quiet of the night. One of the members, a seasoned paranormal investigator, claimed to have seen a figure standing on the shoreline. The figure appeared to be a woman, dressed in old-fashioned clothing. But when they approached, the figure vanished into thin air. The group managed to capture footage of the ghostly apparition, which later became widely circulated online, further fueling the legend of Minnewanka Landing. Another spine-chilling encounter took place in 2018, when a solo explorer made his way to the ruins in the dead of night. He had heard the stories about Minnewanka Landing and was determined to see if the legends were true. As he walked along the shore of the lake, he was struck by a sudden, overwhelming sense of dread. The further he ventured, the stronger the sensation became, until he finally reached an old, crumbling cabin on the outskirts of town. The explorer, who later shared his experience online, claimed that he heard faint whispers from inside the cabin, whispers that seemed to be calling his name. He said that the closer he got to the door, the louder the whispers grew. Terrified, he quickly turned to leave, but as he did, he felt an icy hand on his shoulder. When he spun around, no one was there. With his heart racing, he fled the town, vowing never to return. These modern-day encounters are just a few examples of the eerie phenomena that continue to occur at Minnewanka Landing. Whether it's the disembodied voices, ghostly apparitions, or the overwhelming sensation of being watched, there's no denying that the town is a place that's still very much alive with paranormal activity. Today, the underwater ghost town of Minnewanka Landing remains largely submerged beneath the surface of Lake Minnewanka. However, the stories and legends surrounding it continue to intrigue and terrify those who visit the area. The lake's dark history, combined with the haunting presence of the abandoned town, ensures that the spirits of Minnewanka Landing will never truly be at rest. As we conclude this tale of mystery, legends, and hauntings, it's clear that Minnewanka Landing is more than just an abandoned town. It's a place where the past lingers, and the spirits of those who vanished remain trapped in time. Whether you believe in ghosts or not, one thing is certain: Minnewanka Landing is a haunting reminder of the power that places can have over our imaginations, and the lingering force of history that refuses to be forgotten. Deep in the heart of the Canadian Rockies, the Banff Springs Hotel has stood for more than a century, offering luxury and breathtaking views to guests from around the world. But beyond its grand architecture and stunning surroundings, this historic hotel holds a chilling reputation, one of the most haunted places in Canada. The hotel was first opened in the late 19th century by the Canadian Pacific Railway as part of a plan to attract tourists to the area. Designed as a lavish retreat for wealthy travelers, the hotel quickly gained fame for its beauty and elegance. However, its history is not without tragedy. Over the years, reports of ghostly encounters have turned this luxurious getaway into a destination for those seeking more than just mountain views. Among the most well-known spirits said to roam the hotel is the infamous Ghost Bride. According to legend, this tragic figure met her untimely end on one of the hotel's grand staircases. Guests and staff alike have reported seeing a woman in a flowing white dress appearing near the staircase, as if reliving her final moments over and over again. Some have even claimed to hear soft sobbing or the faint sound of music, as if an unseen presence still longs for a wedding dance that never happened. But the Ghost Bride is only one of the many spirits said to haunt Banff Springs Hotel. Over the years, countless visitors have shared eerie experiences, from unexplained noises to shadowy figures appearing in their rooms. Some guests have reported waking up to find their belongings mysteriously moved, while others have felt an overwhelming sense of unease, as if they were being watched. The Banff Springs Hotel is more than just a luxury resort. It is a place where the past lingers, where echoes of history refuse to fade. What secrets does this grand hotel hold? What spirits continue to walk its halls? As we continue this story, we will explore the chilling encounters that have made Banff Springs one of the most haunted hotels in the world. While the Banff Springs Hotel is known for its luxury and breathtaking scenery, those who have stayed there often speak of something else, something chilling that lingers in the halls. Strange occurrences have been reported throughout the building. From mysterious cold spots to unsettling whispers in the dead of night, guests and employees alike have come forward with their own eerie encounters, adding to the hotel's haunted reputation. One of the most unsettling locations within the hotel is a particular guest room where paranormal activity is said to be frequent. Staff members have shared stories of guests waking up to find the covers pulled from their beds, or even feeling an unseen force push them while they slept. Some have reported seeing shadowy figures standing near their beds, only to vanish the moment the lights are turned on. The room in question is no longer accessible to guests, and some say it was permanently sealed off due to the number of disturbances reported there. Beyond the guest rooms, some of the most chilling stories come from the hotel's employees. Housekeepers have reported entering rooms to find furniture moved from its original place, even when no guests had checked in. Others have spoken of hearing footsteps in empty hallways or doors slamming shut without explanation. One particularly strange story involves a hotel staff member who was setting up chairs in one of the ballrooms. After carefully arranging them in neat rows, they turned away for just a moment, only to find the chairs scattered when they looked back. Another well-known ghostly figure is that of a former employee who worked at the hotel for many years. He was known for his friendly demeanor and dedication to his job. Even after his passing, guests have claimed to see a man matching his description assisting them, only for him to disappear moments later. Staff members have also reported feeling an unseen presence in the areas where he once worked, as if he never truly left the place he called home. These accounts are just a glimpse into the many strange occurrences reported at the Banff Springs Hotel. With so many stories passed down over the years, one thing is clear: something unexplained lingers within these walls. Next, we will uncover even more chilling tales and explore the spirits that refuse to leave this grand hotel behind. Among the many ghostly tales tied to the Banff Springs Hotel, one of the most unsettling stories involves an entire family said to have met a tragic end within its walls. While details surrounding the event remain unclear, guests and staff have long whispered about a sealed-off room believed to be linked to this dark history. According to reports, guests who stayed in the room before it was closed experienced disturbing phenomena: loud, unexplained screams in the middle of the night, sudden temperature drops, and even the appearance of blood-like handprints on mirrors. Some versions of the story claim that no matter how many times the mirrors were cleaned, the handprints would return. The location of this room has been a topic of debate, as the hotel does not publicly confirm its existence. Some say the hallway where the room once stood has been permanently blocked off, making it inaccessible to both guests and staff. Others believe the room still exists, but remains unlisted in the hotel's booking system. Regardless of its current state, those who have stayed on the floor where the room was said to be have reported an overwhelming sense of unease, as if they were being watched. Beyond the mystery of the sealed room, other parts of the hotel have their own share of paranormal activity. The mezzanine level, which once housed employee offices, is known for sudden cold spots and shadowy figures that appear and disappear without explanation. Employees who have worked late at night have described the eerie sensation of someone standing behind them, only to turn around and find nothing there. The Grand Ballroom is another hotspot for strange occurrences. Some visitors have reported hearing the faint sound of music playing, even when the room is empty. Others have claimed to see a lone figure dancing across the floor, dressed in elegant clothing from a bygone era. While no one can say for certain who this spirit might be, some believe it could be a former guest who never got to enjoy the event they had planned. The Banff Springs Hotel has stood for well over a century, and its long history has given rise to countless ghostly tales. With each passing year, new reports emerge, adding to the legend of this haunted Canadian landmark. As we continue, we will explore even more chilling encounters, including one of the most famous spirits said to reside within the hotel's walls. One of the most well-known spirits of the Banff Springs Hotel is Sam McCauley, a former bellman whose presence is still felt decades after his passing. Sam worked at the hotel during the mid-20th century and was known for his friendly demeanor and dedication to assisting guests. Even after his death in the year 1975, numerous guests and employees have reported encounters with a helpful older bellman wearing a plaid jacket, matching Sam's signature look. One of the most famous incidents involved two elderly women who found themselves locked out of their room. They called the front desk for assistance, but before the staff could arrive, an older bellman appeared, unlocked the door for them, and vanished. When they later described him, staff members immediately recognized the description as matching Sam, despite knowing that no such employee had been working that evening. Sam's presence has also been reported in his former office on the mezzanine floor, which has since been converted into a guest room. Some guests staying in that particular room have experienced objects moving on their own or an unexplained feeling of being watched. Others have spotted his apparition on the hotel's upper floors, particularly the 6th, 7th, and 9th, where sudden cold drafts and flickering lights have been reported. Beyond Sam's ghostly encounters, another eerie phenomenon tied to the hotel is the unexplained movement of objects. Some staff members have walked into rooms only to find furniture slightly rearranged or items misplaced without any logical explanation. Certain dining areas have been the site of glasses sliding across tables or silverware clattering when no one is near. In other cases, guests have mentioned waking up to find their suitcases open and their belongings scattered around the room, as if someone or something had gone through them during the night. With so many first-hand accounts of ghostly happenings, the Banff Springs Hotel continues to solidify its reputation as one of Canada's most haunted locations. Whether these spirits are lingering due to unfinished business or simply attached to the place they once called home, their presence is impossible to ignore. As we wrap up, we will explore how these ghost stories have shaped the hotel's legacy and why visitors continue to seek out paranormal experiences within its historic walls. The Banff Springs Hotel continues to be a fascinating destination for those drawn to the supernatural. The unique combination of its rich history, its dramatic mountain setting, and its long list of paranormal occurrences makes it an intriguing place for both skeptics and believers alike. Guests from all over the world are drawn to the hotel, not only for its luxurious accommodations and breathtaking views, but also for the chance to experience something truly eerie. Despite the hotel's modern renovations and luxury, there is still an undeniable sense that the spirits of the past linger in the hallways. Some believe that the spirits are drawn to the hotel because of the energy created by its unique location within the majestic Canadian Rockies. Others suggest that the hotel's tragic past, complete with untimely deaths and untold stories, has left an imprint on the building itself, making it a hotspot for paranormal activity. The stories of the Ghost Bride, Sam the Bellman, and other spirits have become a part of the hotel's identity. Visitors who stay at the Banff Springs Hotel often share their own ghost stories, adding to the growing legacy of the location's haunted reputation. With its blend of old-world charm and modern luxury, the Banff Springs Hotel remains one of the most well-known haunted locations in Canada. If you ever find yourself in Banff, Alberta, and have the courage to stay at the Fairmont Banff Springs Hotel, you might just encounter one of the many spirits who call the hotel home. Whether you're enjoying a luxurious meal, taking a walk through the hotel's grand hallways, or resting in your room, you may feel a sudden chill or catch a glimpse of a ghostly figure just out of the corner of your eye. The Banff Springs Hotel's reputation as a haunted place is a reminder that some stories, especially those tied to places of great history, are never truly over. As the hotel continues to welcome guests, the spirits of the past seem content to stay, ensuring that their stories will never be forgotten. The eerie legends and ghostly encounters make the hotel not just a place to stay, but a place to experience the supernatural. A place where the past and present intertwine, and where the spirits of yesteryear continue to haunt the halls. So next time you visit Banff, remember that the Banff Springs Hotel is more than just a beautiful destination. It's a portal to the past, filled with stories and spirits that refuse to leave. If you have your own ghost story or have stayed at the Banff Springs Hotel, share your experiences in the comments below. We'd love to hear from you. And of course, if you want to learn more about haunted places, be sure to subscribe for more spine-chilling content. The Calgary Stampede Grandstand is known for its thrilling rodeo performances and exciting chuck wagon races, but some say the real spectacle happens when the crowds are gone and the lights are dim. For years, eerie stories have surrounded the grandstand, with visitors and employees reporting unexplained sights and sounds that leave them wondering if something from the past still lingers. The grandstand, with its towering seating and sweeping view of the rodeo grounds, has been the heart of the Calgary Stampede for decades. Every summer, thousands gather to witness cowboys and performers take center stage, but the grandstand has also seen its share of tragedies. Rodeo events are dangerous by nature, and over the years, injuries and even deaths have occurred right on these grounds. Some believe that the spirits of those who lost their lives here still remain, forever tied to the place where they met their fate. One of the most chilling stories involves ghostly horses that are said to race across the grounds late at night. The sound of thundering hooves has been reported by security guards and workers who have been on duty long after the crowds have left. Some believe these are the spirits of horses that died in the chuck wagon races, an event known for its high speeds and risks. Though no physical horses are ever seen, the pounding of hooves and the feeling of something rushing past in the darkness have left many witnesses shaken. The grandstand itself has its own ghostly presence. During its construction, a worker was killed in an accident. Ever since, people have claimed to hear unexplained footsteps echoing through the empty hallways of the structure. These heavy steps seem to follow people who are alone, but when they turn around, no one is there. Employees who have worked late at night say they have felt a strange presence, as if someone unseen is watching them. Beyond the grandstand, another building tied to the Calgary Stampede, the Big Four building, has its own ghostly reputation. Once a hub of activity during the Stampede, it becomes eerily empty in the off-season. Those who have been inside during quiet months say they have felt a heavy, unsettling energy, and some have even reported hearing faint whispers in the halls. Former employees speak of an eerie presence that seems to follow them, making them feel as if they are never truly alone. With its long history of triumph and tragedy, the Calgary Stampede grandstand holds a unique place in the city's past. The cheers of the crowds and the excitement of the rodeo may define its public image, but when the sun sets and the grounds grow silent, something else seems to awaken. Whether these hauntings are just echoes of the past or spirits that refuse to leave, one thing is certain. Those who visit the grandstand after dark often leave with stories they can't explain. The Calgary Stampede grandstand has long been associated with a ghostly activity, but what truly makes it stand out are the eerie encounters reported by those who have worked or visited the site after hours. These are not just fleeting glimpses of shadows or tricks of the light. Many have described clear and unsettling experiences that have left them questioning what lingers in the grandstand long after the crowds have disappeared. One common report involves the sound of unseen footsteps moving through the grandstand's upper levels. Late at night, when the venue should be silent, security guards and maintenance workers have heard heavy boots walking across the empty rows of seats. Some have gone to investigate, only to find no one there. These sounds have been reported by different people over the years, always in the same areas, leading many to believe that a lingering presence remains within the structure. Cold spots are another unexplained phenomenon that visitors have experienced, even in the height of summer. While natural drafts could account for some temperature shifts, the sudden and sharp drops in temperature in specific locations seem to defy explanation. Workers have described entering rooms where the air feels noticeably colder, accompanied by an overwhelming sense of unease. Some claim that these cold spots move, making it feel as if an unseen force is passing through. Another unsettling occurrence involves the sounds of voices in the empty grandstand. Some employees working late at night have reported hearing murmurs and hushed conversations, as if a crowd were still present even when the seats are vacant. The voices are often too faint to make out distinct words, but they seem to come from all directions, making it impossible to pinpoint their source. This phenomenon has been described multiple times, always occurring when the area is supposed to be deserted. One of the more chilling stories comes from a former worker who was locking up for the night when they saw a shadowy figure standing at the far end of the concourse. Assuming it was another staff member, they called out, but the figure did not respond. As they moved closer, the dark shape seemed to fade into nothing. This sighting has been echoed by others who have claimed to see shadow-like figures moving through the walkways of the grandstand, only to vanish when approached. With each passing year, more people come forward with their own experiences, adding to the growing list of ghostly encounters at the Calgary Stampede grandstand. Whether these events are tied to the history of the site or something else entirely, one thing remains certain. Many who have walked through the grandstand after dark leave with stories they cannot easily explain. While the Calgary Stampede grandstand is known for its paranormal activity, another nearby structure also carries its own eerie reputation, the Big Four building. Once a hub of excitement during the annual Stampede, this building has earned its place in local ghost lore, particularly during the off-season when the lively crowds have long since dispersed. The Big Four building was originally constructed in the early 20th century and has served various roles over the years, from exhibition space to a venue for concerts and other Stampede events. But as the crowds thin out and the building sits empty, its silence is often described as unsettling. Former employees of the Stampede have shared stories of inexplicable sensations while working in the building, especially when alone at night. One of the most common reports involves the feeling of being watched. Several staff members have described the sensation of someone or something lurking just out of sight, moving through the empty hallways. Even with all lights turned on and doors locked, there is a deep, unshakable feeling that they are not alone. The sounds of footsteps are often mentioned by those who work in the Big Four building at night. These footsteps are typically heard echoing through the large, empty spaces of the building, but when checked, no one is found. A few people have gone so far as to check the security cameras, only to find that no one has entered the building, yet the footsteps continue. This phenomenon is unsettling for the employees who have come to regard the sound as a regular part of their shifts. Some have also reported strange occurrences with the building's doors. One worker recounted how, after locking up for the night, the door would mysteriously open without explanation despite being securely fastened. Others have said that when they would return the next morning, they would find items in the building rearranged or out of place, even though they had left everything perfectly ordered the night before. Though the Big Four building may not get the same level of attention as the grandstand itself, those who have spent time within its walls are quick to share their own eerie experiences. The combination of strange noises, unexplained movements, and the constant feeling of being watched has left many wondering whether the building harbors its own share of restless spirits, and whether or not these encounters can be explained by logical means. They continue to be a mystery that lingers in the quiet corners of the Big Four building. The Calgary Stampede, grandstand's haunted history, isn't just rooted in the spirits of performers and spectators. It's also tied to a tragic event that shook the city to its core. In 1923, Calgary was struck by one of its worst natural disasters, the Great Calgary Flood. The Bow River, which runs through the city, overflowed its banks and inundated much of the surrounding area, including the Stampede grounds. The flood had devastating consequences, causing widespread damage and claiming many lives. The Stampede grandstand, which had only recently been built, was severely affected by the floodwaters. Though it was eventually restored, the trauma of the event lingered, and many locals believe that the spirits of those who perished in the flood still haunt the grounds. Reports of ghostly encounters tied to the 1923 flood are not uncommon. Some people believe that the spirits of those who drowned in the floodwaters are still present, particularly around the grandstand. Witnesses have claimed to see figures wandering the grounds late at night, shrouded in mist, or have heard the distant sound of voices carried by the wind. Others have felt an eerie chill or an overwhelming sense of sadness when passing certain areas of the grounds, a sensation that some say could be the result of the lingering energy from the devastating flood. One particularly eerie tale is that of a figure, often seen standing near the grandstand's edge, staring out toward the Bow River. Descriptions of the figure vary, but many witnesses believe it to be the spirit of someone who drowned in the flood. The apparition is often said to appear only in the early morning hours or during rainy nights, as if the very conditions that led to the tragedy still affect this restless soul. Though no definitive explanation has ever been found for these supernatural occurrences, the flood's impact on the city and the grandstand remains an indelible part of the location's history. The physical structure may have been rebuilt, but it seems that the emotional and spiritual toll of that fateful event continues to echo through the years. As with the many other ghost stories surrounding the Calgary Stampede grandstand, the legacy of the 1923 flood serves as a reminder of the deep emotional connections that people form with the places they hold dear. Whether these ghosts are the result of tragic events, the spirit of the place itself, or something else entirely, they continue to be a significant part of the grandstand's haunted history. For those brave enough to visit, it's clear that the grandstand is much more than just a venue for rodeos and concerts. It's a place where the past, in all its sorrow and splendor, lingers in the shadows. And so, the grandstand, the Big Four building, and the grounds of the Calgary Stampede remain at the center of ghostly encounters that captivate locals and visitors alike. From spectral horses racing across the grounds, to the lingering spirits of those affected by past tragedies, the Stampede grounds stand as a testament to the enduring power of history and the supernatural.